It's good to be with you, even if it's through video today. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and your work to be a part of this strategic enrollment management program today. I just wanted to reflect a little bit about my own thoughts and experience on SEM, and hopefully you can identify with them. I certainly, from the beginning of my tenure as president, my first presidency here at York Tech came in 2007 in February, and to be honest with you, I'd never heard the term strategic enrollment management. As a matter of fact, my previous experience with enrollment at other institutions was simply all about nickels and noses, getting people into the college. Just as many as we could every fall, but typically just focusing on that. Strategic enrollment management to me now is something that's more obvious, but wasn't then. It's really, in my mind, in most simplest terms, our best effort to make sure that we sustain our mission of improving our community through maximizing student success. Now, my first perspective, once again, when I came on board, was one of quiet anxiety. Anxiety about, wonder how this enrollment thing actually happens. I mean, we advertise, we have a catalog, we have a website, and people call us up and show up, and somehow or another we end up being up in enrollment. Enrollment then meaning head count alone, not all-encompassing enrollment as we intend it in SEM. What I realized is that worked great my first year and even my second year, and felt pretty good about it. You know, this is really not that hard, you know. We just do what we do and people show up. Then the recession hit, the Great Recession, and it happened in spades. We were booming. Double-digit growth. At one period, we were the fastest growing institution of higher education in the whole state of South Carolina. But it was directly correlated to that recession period. Now, during that recession period, I and others began to look at, well, what has been the past experience of coming into a recession, and what has been the past experience of coming out? And what we realized is that what goes up does tend to come down, and we knew that that would be the case after the initial surge of the Great Recession. However, even though we had concepts and ideas of how we might be able to improve, to be able to handle a decline in enrollment after the Great Recession, we were caught up in simply trying to serve the great demand that we had at the time. And there was very little energy and ability to pursue other concepts about growing enrollment because enrollment was great. We just knew that it wouldn't remain that way. So we discussed many possibilities and ideas about how we can improve it within the system that we had, but when we came out of the recession, the natural reaction to the economic times took place, and we saw dramatic declines in enrollment. And just as we had gone up double digits, we began to go down double digits. The reality is that enrollment isn't simply about new students and recruiting new students to replace those who have graduated, or for the most part, those that haven't decided to continue their continuous work on their program of study. In reality, what we began to realize is that we needed a more strategic methodology for making sure that we could set goals and pursue enrollment in all of its facets. For instance, the area of retention is actually our greatest potential for recruitment. Students that we've already had here are our greatest pool for potential recruitment. Likewise, our placement and our completion are demonstrations of our worth and value. So it's the whole life cycle that creates sustainability for our mission, not just bringing in new students. So we began to think of enrollment, or at least I did, from a totally different perspective. And toward that end, it's led us to many different types of improvements that have occurred throughout this time. One in particular is the focus of encouraging students to take 15 credit hours. And that, once again, benefits us in multiple ways. It benefits us because that student stands a much better chance of completing on time. They have a much better handle on how they can complete their program and when they should finish. In addition to that, it allows us, even if headcount is down, to have the funding necessary to support our efforts and our mission. I honestly believe that we are the most strategic college in the South Carolina system. I see them operate on a regular basis. I visit with their presidents and other people in their organizations and hear what they're talking about. And I can assure you that if anyone is going to come out victorious in sustaining their mission, it will be York Technical College because of the strategic nature that you put in place when you approach the whole life cycle of strategic enrollment management. We are as committed as any group I've ever seen to improvement. Now, the future of SEM and this conference will be that we will move to organize around summits that are going to be specific to strategic areas that we know that we can improve and that we can empower people through learning and training and sharing and conversation. So we'll have strategic summits for enrollment management that will focus on targeted themes and going forward. So as I close, I want to let you know how much I appreciate you personally taking responsibility for being strategic in your work. And I don't say this just for effect. It's true. Ours is a people business. It relies on people. Strategy's great, but strategy doesn't carry out itself. Strategy doesn't determine the best tactics. Strategy alone isn't smart. People are. And toward that end, you are our only hope of sustaining our mission. Thank you again for your time today. Enjoy the learning, participate, and go forward and have a great year. Thank you very much.